Hello. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I am very well, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. I am so glad and so honored that you could be with us. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you. Thank you for having me. It's my
No,
pleasure.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, guys, Bea is what I consider the OG kind of activist. Everybody does different kinds of activism. We interviewed Jamie Logan a couple of weeks ago. She's a PETA activist. So she's hanging upside down outside a butcher's shop with fake blood covered on her. We interviewed Oksana. She's actually lives in Turkey as well, and she shot a viral video of the donkey who was pregnant and actually landed up getting rescued. And now, when I looked at your videos today, they were hard for me to watch, and I am also doing kind of an activism. So
Yes.
tell me, Bea, what has been your trigger? How did you become an activist?
Um, I'll be honest with you. When I opened my Instagram account, I really didn't know what I was doing. Um, and I started with cooking vegan.
Ah,
And when I saw the injustice that
hmm,
is done to animals, I could not stay quiet. I diverged. And I still post recipes and I'm still interested in that. But I felt that my strong point was in the activism, that it was something that I could do and that I could also stomach and react to. There are trolls, there are people that have reactions, and I feel that um, I can handle it.
that is pretty awesome because, like I said, I mean, everybody has their own kind of activism. And
Yes,
mine is a much softer one. I do it via fashion. And I think yours is the OG because you're really educating people for what it really looks like because everything is behind a closed door, right? Nobody really knows.
people need to face it.
Yeah.
And they also, well, I would expect that one video should be enough to make a change. I guess more videos are needed,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but people do react. When you talk about fashion, though, I sometimes model for a friend, and she caters to a wider population.
Mm,
But I can see the changes.
mm,
She has started looking at labels. Vegan products have been introduced.
yeah.
More vegan people are coming.
Yeah.
Um, so, I can see the change happening, and it makes me happy because I do
Yes.
care about the well being of the animals and the planet, and also people. People are a part of this because veganism is
Exactly.
not a diet, it is a lifestyle.
Correct. That's right. And you touched on this very briefly, but I want you to expand into that. There is a lot of trolling.
Yes.
There is negative comments, and people have different ways of dealing with that. How do you protect your own mental health first, and then how do you deal with that trolling?
There were several ways. I think I've read enough psychology to understand that that is an outright of the ego.
Correct.
Because when you shake with someone's foundation, the first step actually is attack. Only afterwards do people start thinking about things, and the last step would be acceptance. So I understand that you're shaking with someone's foundation. You are going against a lot of things that they have been taught, and that they think are correct,
Correct. Since
and that they,
childhood, it's a
yes,
fundamental identity, really.
yes, exactly. So I'm, you know what? Sometimes I also don't know because I think I'm made of pretty good stuff. I can stomach a lot of things, and I don't lose focus. I know what my aim is, and I know that what I'm presenting is positive. And there's really nothing to poke at. What is there to poke at? We are people that are trying to cause the least harm possible.
Correct. Via
Well, then,
education. Right.
Fine. If somebody reacts, I react as well. I express myself well, kindly, intelligently, but firmly, because I know what I stand for.
Correct.
So in that way, and I'm also an energy medicine healer.
Ah.
And when I studied
Reiki?
this,
Is that Reiki? Is that what you're talking about?
no, it's actually the healing energy medicine of the medicine men and women of the Andes.
Okay, that's
Yes.
interesting.
And when I studied that, you learn to also protect yourself and not take in that negative energy.
Negativity. Correct.
Yes. I also realized that everything begins with the individual. Everything begins in the mind, with the thought, and we put things into action. What energy I emit, in the end, is going to be reflected towards me. And I think that helps me stay above the water and to stay strong in a world that is cruel. Another thing that helps me is the fact that I studied history. Now, people have done some crazy things throughout the whole of human history. And it's incredible how easy it is to do evil and how many people need to join forces to do something positive.
Yeah.
We do see that pattern in history, but we also see that people have repeatedly been joining forces for the positive, and changes have happened. Yes, it has taken a lot of effort. Yes, a lot of evil has been done. But in the end, many people have succeeded in many positive things. So I think that we just need to persevere.
I really like that. I really like that. I think I learned something there as well. You need to also emit the right energy, and then the right energy gets attracted back. And you're absolutely right. Um, why is this? Because, obviously there's a lot of like all the trolling negativity, and we just spoke about protecting our own energy. Why is it so important to you that you've got, your videos are very explicit. Like I've seen, it was hard for me to watch this morning. I
Yes,
have to
they're hard
admit.
to watch. Yes.
Yes.
I sometimes do shed a tear myself.
Yeah. I
I
really
think
was in
about it.
tears. It took me 2 or 3 efforts to go through your page to be able to go through it because it's that hard for me.
Yes,
Um, and it's true. Why is it so important to you, Bea? Because there are very few of us who are doing this kind of activism. There, yeah, and
yes,
we're like a handful in this whole world of 8 billion people.
yes, that's true.
Mm.
That's true. But we are on the rise, and more people are starting to realize this. Yes, my page it's not easy to take. It's not easy to look at the videos. And that is exactly why I do it. Because it is so hard to look at. So why are we perpetuating this? It is pure evil. We can see that. It's there. So why close our eyes? Why accept it behind closed doors and say that this is the circle of life? There is nothing natural about it. It's horrible.
It is horrible.
So here it is. Please, yes, everybody, have a look and act upon it. Let's stop this. I mean, wouldn't it be wonderful? Nobody needs to suffer. And I also believe that as long as people do this to the animals, they're also capable of doing this to people.
Yes.
Nothing will stop them. Because if somebody can hurt the most vulnerable,
Correct.
then there's absolutely nothing to stop them. I want to leave a positive footprint.
Yes.
I want what I do to mean something. And I've been through a lot of things, and I wish there had been people who had stood up for me, for others that were going through various things, for the animals that I've seen suffer. So, there's this slogan. I saw a post of a vegan activist holding a sign saying, I always wondered why somebody didn't do something about it. And then I realized that I was somebody.
Yes.
And yeah, I guess I'm somebody and I can do something about it. So I'm trying.
I love it. And I also read somewhere, I think it was on your grid, is that if you keep silent, you are actually participating in that cruelty just by keeping quiet, which I absolutely loved, right?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and I think it is true. You know, I'm I'm just a woman and I'm no superhero. But I think that there comes a time when we find this power within us. And when we realize, hey, I know what is right and I know what is wrong. And I know that things can function differently. So why perpetuate that which is wrong, which nobody likes, which everybody keeps behind closed doors and everyone shies away from? I mean, one thing that that keeps me also motivated is we hide this from children, right?
Correct.
I
Me
mean,
too.
we wouldn't take a child to the slaughterhouse. We try
No,
not to show them how food gets on the plate. So
no.
I guess what we're doing to the animals isn't correct.
Exactly. There's actually a video that's gone viral in the last few days of
Mhm.
a small girl crying because there are chicken trying to escape a cage truck where they're going to be taken to slaughter. They're like jumping out of the
Mhm.
truck, and somehow they're even like able to escape through the bars, but they're that desperate they're just like landing on the middle of the road, the highway. Their cars trying to avoid them, and this kid is just crying uncontrollably because she gets it. And my daughter asked me at the age of 6 because she refused to eat meat, but I would give her fish sticks thinking it's good for her
Mhm.
growth and her,
Yeah.
her height and whatever. And she asked me one day when she was 6 years old, she's like, Mom, if you don't eat animals, why are you asking me to eat this pretend fish? That was it.
Mhm.
That was it. I just stopped giving it to
So
her. I stopped. And she's actually taller, healthier than all her meat eating cousins.
I completely believe it. I mean, which mother would want to harm her child, right?
Yeah,
If we didn't see the results, we wouldn't
correct.
be continuing with it. When
Correct.
I was on the standard diet, I was deficient in absolutely everything.
Yeah, I bet.
And after I went vegan, everything just fell into place and my body turned into a machine.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true because we're eating more vegetables as well. We're actually eating much more than our 5 a day.
and the variety of foods. Can you imagine? I mean, I can totally relate to that girl. I grew up in a household where my grandparents had a small farm
Mm-hmm.
in the city. It was in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the animals get slaughtered. I was the one that was given a plate of bread, and I went to catch the blood on the bread to be fried. I mean, this is what I grew up in.
Wow.
And you realize that these animals well, they have social structures. They have friends.
Yes.
You can befriend them.
Correct.
They have habits. They like certain things. They don't like certain things. They have a central nervous system. They have a brain. They're
Yes.
not just instinctive creatures.
Correct.
They do make choices. And then you realize that they're being confined and bred for this. It just didn't make sense. I remember my grandpa, I mean, when it was the rabbit's turn, right? And I don't want to go into explicit detail, but he would always say, don't feel sorry for him because it takes longer for him to go.
Oh,
Oh my goodness, right? Oh
oh
my
my God.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's
So
that's hard. That's hard, Bea.
it is hard. And I never liked eating meat. I'm one of the people that actually didn't enjoy eating until I went vegan.
Yeah.
It was hard to get anything in my system, and if I did, I just did it because we had to. And I thought about this for a very long time, because if this is something that I'm supposed to do to stay alive, if I'm such a being that needs to consume to get energy and to stay healthy, then it shouldn't be unpleasant if I'm
Correct.
made that way.
I like that.
So I started doing my research, and especially when I decided to have kids, because I was thinking, well, I can't have them see me unhappy at the dinner table. And a friend that I have helped me take the first step. I didn't know how for a long time.
Correct.
I was vegetarian for a long time. I never liked consuming cow milk as well, but I didn't know about the industry. And when I learned, I stopped it right then and there. And I was happy when I learned about veganism and that I can actually enjoy food, that I don't need to look for cartilages and veins and all different
and bones.
funny parts in there, and that I don't have to worry that my food is going to poison me.
Correct. It's
right?
true. It's true.
Yes, or parasites, that kind of became non-existent. So I was happy that I could actually enjoy food, and now it's a hobby. Now cooking is a hobby, it's something I do with my kids, and my kids are vegan and they're sports people, and
nice.
Yeah, everything is great. We're healthy. So when you see the results, and you see that you went from this unhappy bundle every time you needed to sit down at the dinner table to somebody who actually enjoys eating.
Correct.
Well, great.
Correct. And I'm a foodie as well now. I'm a foodie. I've always been.
Yes, I'm a total foodie. And I don't know about you, but until I went vegan, I've never eaten such a wide variety of foods.
I agree.
I mean, it's amazing the pleasure you have, and the large variety. It's great.
Yes, it is. It is awesome. So coming into, let's talk about the leather industry. Let's talk about the dairy industry. Let's talk about, we know that the meat industry has got deep pockets. There was live advertising in the UK by the UK government to eat red meat. And in my head, I was thinking, WTF, right? What the fuck? There is the dairy industry, there is the leather industry. Again, they have deep pockets, so they write this word, genuine leather. And as I did my research, I found that because leather is technically animal skin, right? Dead skin. And it, like how a dead body starts decaying, the dead skin starts decaying unless and until they put chromium on it, which is a heavy metal carcinogenic, which they put so many layers of it to get it to stay for years, right? It stays for years because it's treated with this heavy industrial waste.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, what's happened is because these industries have been so powerful with so much money, they've sort of made it the luxury way, right? The luxury industry. And it's the same, right? You eat at a Michelin star restaurant, you are expected to be served meat, 7 courses. How can you not have that? How then do you think that, small brands like us, people like us can make such large changes? Because we actually need people to awaken and have higher conscious levels almost for us to make these changes, because until the demand doesn't stop, the production's not going to stop. Both for the meat industry, the food, the fashion, the dairy, all of it.
When it comes to leather, I agree with you. People see it as something luxurious because somebody had to go out and, I don't know, either hunt or slaughter and process it. I think that people don't make the connection.
Yeah.
They don't understand it. That's why I think it's so important for vegan brands, larger or smaller, for activists, for vegans themselves, to constantly speak about this.
Yes.
Because I don't think that people realize that they're really wearing somebody's skin.
They don't.
They
They
don't.
don't. They
They
don't.
don't. You're
People,
right.
like brands actually advertise baby calf, baby lamb. I'm like, what? Can you not read? Or do you not
Yes.
believe what they're saying?
Yes. Or where, I mean, what's luxurious about that?
I have no idea.
I mean, what are we talking about? I, I'm a minimalist. Of course, I like things. Yeah, I also like my handbag and I don't know, I like my makeup and whatever. I like my shirts, but I'm a minimalist and I buy just as much as I need because
Yeah.
really, how much do we need, right? Are we going to take it to the other world?
Yeah.
And people have become, first of all, desensitized. And I also see in the comments, yes, people are desensitized.
Desensitized, yeah.
And they also don't know how to make the connection. I don't think they realize how many chemicals go into the process. I don't think they realize that just like a human body starts decomposing, the animal body starts decomposing within hours.
Correct.
So to stop that process, it needs to go through, it needs to be cured with chemicals. And I don't think people realize that. I don't even think they realize how harmful that is. And why perpetuate this when we have different choices? So I think it's great when there are vegan brands talking about this, connecting with activists, people just talking and bringing this up constantly.
Correct.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I think you're right. I think people don't connect the dots. I actually think they do not connect because they don't realize. So just the word calf leather on a Prada website or a Gucci website is very normal. So because it's so normal, they don't actually understand that, look, it's a baby cow and a baby lamb they're talking about. Like
And then the exotic animals, that's something, wow, somebody went into the jungle and got the skin of this and that. Where's the trophy? Why?
Why?
Simply why? Why would you do that when you see this incredible being? You have to be in utter awe at how interconnected all the beings and nature are.
Yes.
This is not a coincidence. This is incredible. So why destroy that? Why wear somebody?
Yeah, why wear somebody? I like, oh my gosh, I love that. That needs to be my next headline. Why wear somebody?
Oh, so sweet. Thank you.
I love it.
When you think about it, you break it down.
Yeah.
I mean, if an alien life form came and said, hey, humans, you're not smart anyway. I can digest you and I can use your skin. I mean, would I be able to accept that? No, I wouldn't. I would fight teeth and nails for my rights. And it would be the same situation. I'd be a different species. I wouldn't know their language and they'd be stronger than me. This is exactly what humans are doing to the animals. The animals are, in a way, I mean, I think the animals do have superpowers, but still we manage to dominate them.
Yeah.
They don't know our language.
Correct.
They're trying to understand. It's the same situation. I wouldn't be able to accept that. So why would I impose that onto somebody else? And now we have choices. I understand that some maybe tribal cultures or in the past didn't have the opportunities, but we can evolve, right?
Yes.
We don't have to continue with that. Like I said, in history, people have done all kinds of crazy stuff.
Correct.
And at some point, somebody said, hey, I don't think that's correct. Let's not build those torture chambers anymore.
That's right.
Right?
I love that. I love the analogy. You're absolutely right. So we're not building torture chambers for humans.
Yes.
Why are we building them for animals?
Yes. And we know that when we do this to animals, and people are watching, and young people are watching, they do become even more desensitized. And then they dream of doing this to humans as well. I mean, we know that. We know that. And I think, like you said, I think it's it's very important to connect and to just constantly remind people. And this is where I get the power, for example, even against the trolls. I know what I'm saying.
Mm.
I mean, I know what I'm saying. It's here, black and white. Like, what would you like to argue against? Make it make
It's
sense.
true. There's nothing to argue against since it is black.
Make it make sense. And fine, I'm open-minded and I'm intelligent enough to accept an idea. If I'm convinced, fine. I don't need to be bright, but please make it make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, why not just make a bag out of cactus leather? Why go through all the trouble of creating the machines and hiding this from the public and torturing the animals and taking their babies and treating the skin with the chemicals and all that? Why?
No need. There's
No
really no
need.
need. Not today. Not with the
No
way
need.
technology is advanced. There's so many leathers out there.
Exactly.
You know
You know,
what's also happening is that a lot of companies come and say that we'll collaborate with you. With a lot of the there's a mushroom company called Milo, and they had to stop production because a lot of H&M and Zara said that they would buy from them. They just did not give them enough orders. So this large $300 million was raised for this company with all these cool investors. And when time came to give them orders, all of them just disappeared. So it was treated like a photo opportunity. And all that Silicon Valley money is now going into ChatGPT, AI, and all of that, which I thought was super interesting. So you're basically killing the planet and then double killing it with
yes,
investing only in AI because it needs all these data
yes,
centers, which is really extensively draining on the planet. So I'm like, where's the respite? Where is the respite? And we're not doing anything for asking for the demand. We're not demanding it. So we're not going to get.
exactly. You know, actually, when I don't know, sometimes, things get hard. You see the state of the world.
Yes,
You
I do.
see that I studied history. History
Yes,
doesn't repeat itself. Some people just want to repeat the same things because it's beneficial for them, not for the
yes,
others.
correct.
Um, I mean, history is something we call it history, but come on, that's abstract. We make conscious choices.
Yeah.
So, when I think about all of this, though, I am hopeful, and I do think that the world will be vegan. It's either that or we're burning here, like on Venus. I mean, like we would on
Yeah,
Venus, right?
blowing up.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, I do have hope. I'm hopeful. I do think that it will happen, but good things and changes take time.
Correct.
And we do know that from history.
Yes.
Yes, there are many businesses. I also collaborated with one brand and they went bankrupt. We had to stop. And, yes, there are many beginnings and endings like this, but none of this is a failure. People can start over and over and over again when you reinvent yourself, when you persevere, when you keep on going. That is success.
I love that, Bea. I love that. That is so awesome. Because, obviously there was another brand which closed down this week. It's called Immaculate Vegan, and they were doing a really good market. It was a marketplace for vegan brands. And I felt really bad because obviously they were doing a good job
Yeah.
of advertising all the vegan brands to all the public. And I haven't found any other brand which is as good as that, any other marketplace as good as them. So
Yeah, I
that's disappointing because and that was the other thing is that the vegan community, they go and support like a Calvin Klein's vegan product, Doc Martens. Like if you are buying, just buy from a vegan brand because at least support them so that they have the resources to keep going because otherwise it's a hard game to win. It's a hard game, especially as
it
we're
is.
like we're a handful.
Exactly. Exactly. It is a hard game to win. Um, and this is also where I think that people don't know how to connect the dots
Mm,
because consumerism got the best of many people.
yes.
They instead of nourishing their soul, turning to art, literature. I don't know, growing a plant. I mean, how amazing, right? From little seed, you plant that and it grows, and it's nice to watch something grow. Or getting a pet, going for a walk, doing sports. People fill empty spaces with material things.
Yes.
And what was I going to say?
Consumerism.
That's right. They don't connect the dots here as well, because they don't know that 70% of the things that are in shops actually never get sold.
Yeah.
They go straight. There's a
landfill or
big landfill. There's a big landfill in Chile.
And the landfills in Europe, and there are incinerators in Europe as well.
Yes, and all the brands go there. People go shopping for free, and all of a sudden, all these posh brands, right, are there dumped in the desert in Chile, and all of a sudden, it doesn't have value.
Yes, correct.
Or it's washed away on the shores of Ghana, and nobody's looking for it.
Exactly.
So what are we talking about here? Even, for example, the brands, and let's not name, okay?
Yeah.
But high brands.
Yeah.
They will burn 70% of things that are created.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. And they actually, the energy from that burning it gives enough energy for their factory to run as well.
Yes, exactly. So, why do that? I actually think people need to start supporting smaller businesses and things that are handmade, crafted.
Correct.
Because I also think that when we start producing in large amounts, we take away creativity from people.
Yeah.
I'll say it simply so that everybody can understand. Let's say I can create a cup and you can create a cup. If you start mass producing your cups, I'm not going to be able to create mine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a small producer. Who's going to buy it?
Yeah.
But I could also create something worthwhile.
Correct.
So I really think that this is the, let's say, trend or the way people need to go. Yes, we do need to go vegan for the planet, for human health, and for the animals. And we need to actually, go down in size. We need to be these cute, small businesses with handmade, eco-friendly things where we can see the creativity of many people.
Yes, it's very nice, Bea. So to wrap up, Bea, because this has been a very fun conversation, what would you say would be 3 things people who are just starting out on the journey of veganism, what do you think could be their 3 acts of kindness, if they were to sort of get in, just sort of dipping their toes into veganism?
So if they were starting, yeah? Don't be scared to make a change. Because if you stay on the standard diet, after the age of 65, you're going to get at least 1 out of 4 debilitating illnesses anyway. I mean, we know it. It's Alzheimer's, cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. That's waiting for you, so why be afraid of a change? Eat a variety. Learn 1 or 2 recipes a week. And slowly transition. After a person learns 10 recipes, and I know from myself, because for a long time I didn't know how to cook. I didn't even enjoy eating. Yeah. So, if you learn 10 recipes, you're good to go. You can mix and match and it just starts going. Yeah. So don't be afraid. Just start. Because there really is nothing to lose. And if things don't work, you can always make a change back. But obviously nothing is happening to us. There are so many examples of vegan people that are thriving. Exactly. So first of all, no fear. Second of all, be creative. Enjoy it. Start enjoying life. See the beauty in, how amazing fruit, vegetables, right? Grains. How amazing that is. I mean, we literally live on a planet where food grows on trees and water flows. How amazing that is. So enjoy it. Put that into your soul and heart.
Yeah.
And also, connect. Why
Yes.
not? There are groups. I'm a leader in one of those groups, Challenge 22. I help people start, connect with others that have gone through the journey, that can give advice, and form a community that is built on compassion. How wonderful that is. I mean, we're trying to form a community where nobody suffers.
How
That is
nice. That's
amazing.
awesome. That's awesome. That's a great message, Bea. Thank you so
Thank
much. It's been
you.
such an incredible conversation, and you are an incredible person. And thank you so much
So
for
are you.
all
Thank
the
you.
activism that you do for us. Really, it's awesome. Thank you. It's because of people like you
Thank
that our
you.
community is growing. It's fantastic.
Oh, and you, and thank you for giving me a chance. I enjoyed this so much. Thank you for giving me a voice and being able to say this to people because, I mean, what a wonderful thing we are fighting for, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Bea.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
take care.
you.
Take care. Bye.